Hello, my name is Oladele from Egumi's Travel Company. Basically, we are here to give you a cheaper alternative to getting Canada permanent residence visa. As we all know that Canadian permanent residence visa is kind of hard and it's kind of expensive. So that is why we have this method for you to, as an alternative, to get Canadian permanent resident visa cheaply and in a less tedious way. How are we going to do this thing? About 2 months ago, Canada releases an information about a job offer that is something that is very hot. So it is called home care service worker. Now, this home care service worker is just like it's not medical line per se. It's just like a social care worker and those stuff like that. But here is the method. If you want to apply for this kind of job, is either you do is either you get a job offer from a Canadian employer and you use it to either process your work permit visa or use it to process your permanent resident visa, whatever the case. But here is the deal. You know that before you get the job offer from a Canadian employer, it's going to take a lot of time and resources. As a matter of fact, what was released by IRCC as at that time is that they are not offering the LMIA, that is the job offer for people that they are outside Canada presently. They are giving it for people that they are inside Canada presently that have the qualification. So it will be hard for you to get that kind of a work permit, or if you want to use that route to get your LMIA to process your permanent residence, it's going to be hard. Now, this is the alternative way to get it. About that time, we told people to get themselves ready to go and study for that course in Canada. Now, this is the method. You are going to use study visa to later apply for permanent residence. And this is how it's going to work. When you apply, there's a course in Canada that goes aligned with that job, and it is called personal support worker, PSW. And the whole of this course, within a year, you are going to get a certificate. The thing is this: you want to agree with us that the white people will prefer that you are being trained by them, other than saying that you are bringing in your certificate or your qualification outside of their system. They will always prefer that it is the system that train you and get certified. Do you understand? So if you study this course over there and you get a Canadian certificate for it, and you are being trained by a Canadian system, it will give you a kind of higher credibility than someone who is coming outside of Canada to come and apply for that job. Now, this is how this study visa to permanent residence will work. If you study that course within a year and you are done with the course, most of the schools that we have that they are offering this course, they are going to give you internship. And when you go for internship for 6 months, or for about 6 months, with that you are building your portfolio or your CV. Now, after graduating from the school and you go for a 6 month internship, you have higher chance of getting that job. And there's one thing about Canada: if you work in Canada for 2 years, you are going to get what is called Canadian work experience, which is a vital part for you to apply for permanent residence if you are in the system. Do you understand? So if you study the course, you go for internship, and after graduating from school, you get a job in that line, and you work that job for 2 years, then you'll be able to apply for permanent residence. Now, how does this benefit you from saying that you want to apply from permanent residence or work permits from Nigeria? Now, the first thing is this: when IRCC released that information, they said that the LMIA, which is the job offer, it is not yet available for people that they are outside Canada. So it means that they want to fill the labor force there before they can look into people that they are outside Canada and then give them that kind of a job. Do you understand? So it means that if you are trying to get that job, because it is one of the hottest job that is available in Canada right now. If you want to apply for that job from Nigeria now, you are likely not to get an employer for it. And if you don't get an employer for it, you don't have a job offer to and NOC, LMIA code to process your work permit documents, even your permanent resident document. Another thing is this: if you say that you want to apply for permanent residence from Nigeria, we know that it entails a lot of things, from language test to your certification to even job offer to, and the thing is that it will take a longer time before everything can be done, before everything can be ready. Because if you want to do permanent resident for Canada, even if it is express entry or provincial nominee program, the whole process will take you nothing less than 8 months to a year before everything will be done. But if you go through this method of study visa to work permit then to PR, the first thing is that study visa is a kind of fast visa to get. And because of the fact that this course is one of the hottest courses in Canada right now, you have higher chance of getting the visa. That's the first thing. And we have schools that their tuition fee is not that expensive. Yes, we have schools that their tuition fee and even admission fee is not that expensive. So you have a higher chance of getting the study visa. And as we all know that when you have a study visa, it doesn't mean that while you are studying, you are not going to work. Yes, you are still going to work while you are even studying. So you are having a kind of a double opportunity, because you will be working as you are studying, and what the course you are studying is highly relevant in the Canadian economy right now. So after the course, you go for internship, and after internship, you get a job. And after the job, working on the job for 2 years, then you are liable to get a permanent residence visa. So that is the system that is a very good alternative for you in terms of price or expenses, and in terms of requirements to get the visa, compared to work permit and permanent residence. So how are we going to do this thing for you? Because let me quickly run down the basic requirement for every study visa. The three major things that you need to get for a study visa is this. The first thing is the admission. The second thing is the tuition fee. Then the third thing is your proof of fund. Those are the three major things that you need to apply for your study visa for Canada. Now, the first thing is this: the admission fee. Now, if you want to get admission to Canada, to a Canadian school, or even every school is in abroad, as we used to tell our clients in Eagle Miles Travel, that you see, traveling is like an investment, and one of the rule of investment is that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's very bad. So if you want to apply for Canadian schools, it is advisable that you apply with at least 2 to 3 schools. So at least one of them will give you admission. So how much does it cost for you to apply for admission in Canadian school? It used to be within 50 Canadian dollar to 150 Canadian dollar. Do you get it? So if you do that mathematics now, that simple mathematics, and say even if you put it on the maximum that you apply for 2 schools or 3 schools, so it's going to cost you about, if it is 2 schools, that's going to cost you about 300 Canadian dollar. And don't forget that I said we are just choosing a kind of maximum, because there are schools that their own admission fee is just about 70 Canadian dollar. As a matter of fact, we can get you a school that the admission fee is very cheap, as 50 Canadian dollars. So let's say now on the maximum that you even apply for 3 schools, which is about 150 Canadian dollars. So that's your first expenses. And that expense, with Canadian dollar, you are going to be talking about exchange rates to Nigeria. You get it? So that's the first thing. And the second thing that is there is that the tuition fee. After the school has given you admission, while you are processing your visa, the school will want to know how serious you are with the admission they gave you. So one thing that used to happen with Canadian school is that they will ask you to pay your tuition fee, but not all, not everything, not 100%. The last thing they could ask you to pay is just about 10% of your tuition fee ahead before you get to Canada. So when you now get to Canada, when you start studying, then you can balance up. No, so another expense is that tuition fee. Now, if the tuition fee of a school is, let's say, at least 8,000 Canadian dollar, and the school asks you to pay just 10% of it, that's going to be 800 Canadian dollar. Do you get it? So that is how much you are going to be paying upfront by the time you are processing by the time you are processing your visa as well. And another thing that paying your school fee ahead, or paying part of your school fee, used to do is this: if you have paid your school fee, by the time IRCC, which is Canadian government, they are reviewing your study visa, they will ask the school about your admission. So the school will confirm it, and the school will even tell them that you have paid part of your tuition fee. Now this thing will give you a kind of validity to Canadian embassy that yes, you are financially buoyant enough to cater for your study visa. So that is one major thing, that paying part of your school fee ahead used to help in terms of seeking for a study visa. Now the third thing is, so don't forget that we have talked about your admission fee. So even if you cap your admission fee, like say you are applying for 3 schools, which that you can apply for less than 3 schools, it depends on how financially capable you are. Do you understand? So you can tell us to apply for just 2 schools for you. So let's say 150 Canadian dollar in two places, that is 300 Canadian dollar. Then let's say the school will get their tuition fee is 8,000 Canadian dollar, and you are being asked to pay 10% of it, which is going to be 800 Canadian dollar. So the budget you are having right now, as at this moment, is 300 Canadian dollar plus 800 Canadian dollar, which is about 1,100 Canadian dollar, which is very, very reasonable if you actually want to apply for a study visa. And don't forget that this money is not something you are paying at once. It's gradual thing. The first thing is to first of all get your admission. Without no admission, we cannot proceed to paying your school fee. No. So you don't see it as if you just have to go and get it 1,100 Canadian dollar at first. No, everything is gradually. Just have in mind that these are the kind of possible expenses you are going to face. Now the third thing there that is major thing about applying for your study visa is what we call proof of fund. Yeah, I believe that most people will know about proof of fund. But what is proof of fund basically? Proof of fund is that when the embassy wants to see that you are financially capable to at least fund yourself, fund your the study visa expenses, fund your school fee, everything that is applied to your studying in Canada, and your personal well-being or welfare in Canada. So embassy wants to see that yes, you have that financial capability. So that is what we call proof of funds. So they will look at your bank account to see that if you have enough money to present to them that yes, you are financially buoyant enough to cater for all those things we talk about. Now, so how much does Canada herself, how much do they require for someone to present as a proof of fund? Now, for a single applicant, one needs to have about 15,000 Canadian dollars your balance in your bank account as proof of fund. And with that's just about with exchange rate, that's between 15 million to 20 million naira in Nigeria currency. So how do you now get these 15 to 20 million naira? Now this is one thing we can do for you. Basically, there's a traditional way of doing proof of fund, which I believe that or if you don't know, let me just quickly give you that breakdown, like how it works. Now, the first way you can get your proof of fund is that maybe you are capable yourself, you have that money, or your family, your parents can finance you and they have such money, so that's the first method. Now the second method is that people used to pay for that service. So now let's say um if what you the amount of money you need as your proof of fund, like the balance in the account is about 15 to 20 million. Let's just say 15 million. Now there are people that what they do is that you negotiate with them, and when you negotiate it with them, probably they will be taking about 4% of that money, you know every month as a service charge from you, to put that kind of a money in your account. Do you get it? So if you do a rough calculation now, let's say what is 4% of 15 million? Probably that's around, let's say, 600,000 naira. So it means that you are required to be paying 600,000 naira every month, and you at least need it for at least 4 months. So which means that you are paying 600,000 naira every month for 4 months. That's 6 times 4. That's 2.4 million naira already. Do you get it? For just proof of fund. But I'm just trying to tell you the ways by which people do proof of fund. But that's going to be expensive, because it's going to add up to the expense you are going to, to foot these your study visa processes. But here in Eagle Minds Travel, we have a better way for you. And one better way is what we call a sponsorship account. A sponsorship account. Now, this sponsorship account is that we are going to get you a corporate account that has huge amount of fund. Do you understand? And that account will create a kind of ties between you, because it's going to be sponsorship, and the account holder will stand by you as your sponsor. The account holder will stand by you as your sponsor. So that is how it is being done. And the cost of that one is just about 500,000 naira. So you can see how much we are able to help you from a budget of 2.4 million naira to 500,000 naira, just because of proof of fund. So like we are saying now, you can see that that's the three major things that you need to to process your study visa. The first thing is your admission fee, which I've explained earlier. The second one is paying part of your tuition fee, and I've told you the benefits. And the third thing is your proof of fund, which I have explained how you can have your proof of fund in a cheaper, super cheaper way. So those are the three major things that you need to do to apply for your study visa. All other documents, they are something that they are very, very cheap. It's not they are not as expensive as those three things I talked about. So the three major things that you need to process your study visa is those three things: the admission fee, the part payment of your tuition fee, then your proof of fund. Now the thing is this: peradventure that they did not give you the visa, what are you going to do with that part payment you have done for your tuition fee? Yes, we can always request that they did not. We can always request for that payment to be refunded back to you, in as much as you are not being given the visa. But one thing is this: at Eagle Minds Travel Company, we always try everything humanly possible and legally and legitimate, to make sure that you get your visa. And one of the major things is this: if you actually do your documentation very well, as we at Eagle Minds Travel Company, all we do is that we make sure that we get genuine and verifiable document for our clients. So if you can present yourself to the embassy as a genuine person, you have very high chance of getting the visa. So that is it. So the likelihood of even not getting the visa is very low. In as much as you present what they need and it is verifiable, you will get the visa. Yes, you will get the visa. So like I said, to wrap everything up, this is a method by which you can become a permanent resident of Canada, without spending a lot of money on applying for work permit or applying for PR from Nigeria. So those are the benefits. Like we said, let me quickly recap. If you apply for study visa and you are being given that study visa to go and study personal support worker, course, then with that course you can get a job of health care worker in Canada, because it is one of the hottest job that is available in Canada right now. So when you do that, after 2 years of working in Canada, you can use that to apply for what we call permanent resident, because you already have what we call Canadian work experience, which just take you 2 years. So that is it. So if you want us at Eagle Minds Travel, to help you to apply for this system, apply for the study visa, now you can always send us a message on WhatsApp through the numbers you are seeing on your screen right now. So that is the information that we have for you. So instead of spending a lot of money and time and energy on applying for work permit or permanent residence from Nigeria, this is an alternative, a cheaper and easier alternative for you to get or to become a permanent resident within a journey of 3 years. So that is how it works. Don't forget to follow us on our social handle. You see us on Instagram, you see us on Facebook at Eagle Minds Travel Company, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here for more information about travel offers and travel opportunities. So enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be waiting for you to apply for your study visa, in the process of becoming a permanent resident of Canada. My name is Oladele from Eagle Minds Travel. See you soon. Bye bye.